Hello, welcome back. And in this presentation, we want to answer the question, what do small plants do? In other words, what is their role? So let's see if we can do that right now. We might know a little of how trees and shrubs work their magic in the cycles of water and carbon. Drawing in carbon dioxide from the air, plants process that gas into oxygen and sugars and water through photosynthesis, using the light of the sun, mainly in the leaves. Forests are said to be the lungs of the earth as they distribute oxygen to the atmosphere, and that's the stuff we breathe. So we rely on plants a lot. Trees and shrubs also use water to move nutrients and other materials up and down their bodies. Water absorbed through deep roots can move all the way up to the top leaves, maybe 20 or 30 metres high, and released into the air. This process is called transpiration. But the smaller plants are also doing the same things. As they grow and reproduce, they also transpire, taking in CO2 and breathing out oxygen. In fact, the biomass in a forest includes the understory grasses, the ferns, the sedges, the rushes, the forbs, orchids, lilies, etc. These small plants may make up half the total biomass. That's apart from the trees. So just like any other plant, the smaller plants exist to grow and reproduce. Where conditions are right, they'll germinate from a seed, develop stems and roots and leaves, and finally produce flowers, which, if successfully pollinated, perhaps by a bee, will form the seeds of the next generation of plant. Where grazing or browsing animals threaten to gobble up an entire plant in one go, plants have developed various ways of being less palatable, such as thorns or spikes, prickles, or hairs. Some contain poisonous chemicals in their leaves or stems or in their fruits. This is a deadly nightshade here. Very poisonous berries. That chemical is designed to prevent attack by insects and other munchers. Speaking of other munchers, small plants do much more than transpire and photosynthesize. Consider all of these roles. They provide food to animals, kangaroos, insects, birds, and the insects that live on them provide food for other creatures as well. They provide shelter to animals, particularly smaller ones. As well, the taller, bushier plants provide shelter to the close, ground-hugging ones. They provide places to lay eggs and grow young. Leaves are great for this, as well as stems, as we can see here. They provide food to things like mosses and lichens and fungi, molds which will grow on and around them. There's some lichen on a twig. They protect the soil by covering it, binding it together with roots and feeding it with leaf litter and reducing evaporation. They can add nutrients and other things to the soil. A good example is the family of plants that include peas, which leave nitrogen behind as they grow. Nitrogen is an essential food for most plants, so it's quite beneficial. We've used a few technical terms in this presentation, so if you need to find out more, go online and search for information or diagrams on transpiration, photosynthesis, biomass, or even things like stomata, the little holes in the leaves that allow oxygen to pass into the atmosphere. Add a page to your journal of any new information that you found. Good luck, and thanks for listening.